rescue teams searching for survivors of last Friday's deadly 7.7 earthquake are still finding people who were buried alive. Chinese rescuers pulled 4 survivors trapped in the rubble of this collapsed building in Mandalay City. The tragedy has killed more than 2,000 people. Officials expect that number to soar here in the coming weeks. The U.S. Geological Survey says Friday's quake was the most powerful to hit Myanmar in over a century. Concerns are now growing about how to get critical humanitarian aid to the war-torn region. Janti Soeripto is the Chief Executive Officer of Save the Children. Save the Children is a charitable organization that has previously received USAID funding and was deeply impacted by the recent Trump administration cuts to awards and grants. And moments ago, the U.S. State Department, we should note, announced a USAID team is currently on its way to Myanmar at the request of the junta government. Janti, thank you so much for being with us, because I also want to note that even as a U.S. team is on its way, a lot of other countries have been there already helping. Talk to us a little bit about how Save the Children in particular has been responding in Myanmar, and if these cuts to USAID awards and grants have affected your ability to respond.
Thanks, Brianna. And as you said so rightly, unbelievable earthquake, the worst one in over a century. It has hit 6 regions in Myanmar, predominantly home to more than 28 million people, of whom around 7 million are children. So as you can imagine, Save the Children is responding as we speak. We have been in Myanmar since 1995, so we've been there for 30 years and a bit more. We know the area well. We are there with mostly, in the majority, local staff. We know the situation on the ground well. So we're responding. One of our biggest concerns at the moment is that it's really hard to get the right information about where the needs are and how deep the needs are. Roads are damaged, data and connectivity is hard to get access to, but we have over 10 teams now in country going out in these regions to make sure that we understand what the most pressing needs are.
And those needs are going to continue, right? We said that we expect the death toll to rise. We expect the needs to continue. Absolutely. Have you been feeling the effects there of these cuts to the aid you receive as you are trying to respond to an emergency like this?
Look, global humanitarian funding is under strain, right? There's no doubt about it. So that puts pressure on everybody, not just Save the Children. However, we're in a somewhat fortunate situation that we have an amazing supporter base of millions of people across the globe, as well as in the United States, that have given us funding for the Children's Emergency Fund. And the Children's Emergency Fund is a remarkable resource for us globally to make sure that we can respond to emergencies if and when they happen, because we can't always predict where they happen and at what time. We only can say we are pretty sure that something's going to happen over the course of a year. So we're using this Children's Emergency Fund now as we speak to literally not only assess needs, but to start providing basic necessities, food, shelter, clean water, cash for some families so that they can actually spend it in local markets. So that is what the Children's Emergency Fund does for us. We are also in ongoing conversations. We had existing and still remaining funding from the US government for Myanmar, and we're in conversations now with our partners there to see how we can expand that to include these earthquake response activities.
Janti, talk about kids in this situation and how they are particularly vulnerable and need the help of organizations like Save the Children. What kind of specific challenges do they face in the aftermath of something like this?
Oh, it's horrifying for kids, right? Because particularly very young children, it's very hard for them to understand what's actually happening. There have been a number of aftershocks, as always, with earthquakes of this size. So there's this consistent, it doesn't stop with the one big one. There's this consistent fear that the next aftershock could be even worse and could lead to more death and casualties and destruction. Some kids will have lost their homes, their parents, or their immediate family in the aftermath. So when crises like these happen so suddenly, kids are always at more risk than anybody else. They can get lost, they lose their family, it'd be hard to find ways back to their families, and of course they can be and will be severely traumatized.
And while I have you, I do want to ask, because it is organizations, as I mentioned, like yours that have been affected by these cuts. You have programs where you are addressing children who are in imminent danger of starving, not just in some place like Myanmar in the wake of this, but all around the world. And I hear you're tapping your reserve funds as you have lost some of the funds from the U.S. government. But do you know of any instances where children have died because of these cuts, or where you are worried that they're going to?
I'm incredibly worried that they're going to. So for now, globally, Save the Children's was impacted by about 30% of our income or our funding for these life-saving activities and development activities. We've received exemptions for those life-saving activities, and we've managed to continue to do them, even when it was uncertain when we were going to get paid for those activities, because we have scale, and as I said, we have a diversified portfolio of funders, and some amazing existing funders have really also stepped up into this moment to make sure we could maintain malnutrition treatment centers, healthcare centers, cholera treatment for children all across Africa. So in the immediate aftermath, I think, of this particular shock, we've been able to really maintain those life-saving activities, but it has come at a cost of longer term and immediate term interventions, particularly in the area of education. So I'm incredibly concerned about the loss of education programs in such a disorderly and sudden fashion for girls in Afghanistan, for these young children in the Eastern DRC that I saw myself last year when I was visiting. And it had an amazing impact on their ability to essentially to read and write at the right age level. And that will impact their future for sure.
Janti, Soeripto, thank you so much for talking with us about what your group is seeing there in Myanmar and for what you are dealing with just more broadly. We really appreciate it.